Moff Gideon. A tracking beacon has been placed on the Razor Crest.
Do they still have the ascent?
Yes, sir. Our source confirms it.
And we shall be ready. Long live the Empire.
I love Moff Gideon. He's brilliant. So much better in season 2 as well. So much to say about the guy. And also, if you stay with me, I will talk about the characters that made him. Well, I think so anyway. They all contribute. It's all a lovely cauldron of stuff in Star Wars. You can make something brand new and great out of something so warm and familiar. Anyway, so Moff Gideon, let's start with, I suppose, well, the car back you can see there, and I will move in on it very quickly. A lot of people criticize the car back. I don't mind it too much. I can see their point. It is a grainy image, but I like it because it's a good long shot, and it's the first time you see that. And so it's a memorable scene. So I'm glad they chose a significant scene, should we say. Some car backs they choose in the vintage collection are really like, well, why did they choose it? And I'm going to go right to Exhibit A there. You know, why did they choose that? Christ almighty. Anyway, but, you know, that's a significant scene. I've seen worse for pictures. He looks very dark there. And, but, you know, sometimes it's quite quirky and almost like a nod to the 80s and 70s when they would literally just take kind of an image and it was like out of focus or something like that. Sorry, this camera work is absolutely diabolical. I'm just racing around with my thoughts. But some images are just, they absolutely smash them, the choices. You know, I always point to Cody when I talk about that. And some are really questionable. Like, I always go to another exhibit for that when I want to talk about questionable. Like that one, I mean, well, actually, you know, that's not the greatest image, but it's good because it's real. You know, that's a snatch of Quinlan Vos, the extra who played him. And then he obviously became his whole character. But anyway, so the car back, you know, they could have chosen a number of other closer up images of Moff Gideon and the actor who played him, but they went with that one. So that's all I got to say about that. And the character, the figure, actually, no, I'll say about the figure is he's really short. You know, you expect him to be a really tall guy, don't you? I don't know if the actor is legitimately that short, but the figure is really tiny. And I've got him with a load of stormtroopers. I've got some Rogue One stormtroopers on a Mandalorian shelf in the other room, and he looks so weird. You know, I'm just so used to seeing Vader, you know, leading a platoon with his cape flowing. And this guy just looks a little bit of a short ass. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he is that short. He doesn't seem that short in the series. He looks very imposing. And anyway, so let's have a look at the figure. Let's get in on there. And then I want to talk to you about these other characters that all contribute to this guy. He's a very arrogant, confident, imperial Governor General Moff, whatever you want to say, and he's quite scary in a way, and nothing sort of intimidates him until you get to the very last episode of season 2, and then you see how scared he is when Luke is approaching, and you can watch a ton of videos about that, you know, why he was so scared and this, that, the other. There you are. There's the card and figure combined. I'll just get a bit closer to him in the bubble there, just so you can see. There you are. Sorry about the glare. There you go. Just look at the face there. He's great, this guy. Really good. And look at him. I just want to move on now and talk about how he's designed and how he looks. So reminiscent of the following characters. Let's have a look at them. And then we'll talk about the figure again in a minute. In fact, before I move on, I'll show you the figure now. And he has a cape, obviously, and that will be part of the discussion I want to make. Reminiscent of so many characters. I've got to say now, he reminds me so much, number one, of Dooku. Big time. I just think of Dooku all the time, every time I see him. And a little bit of Vader in there, of course, you know, and just Imperials. Primarily Veers, I'm thinking of, just because of the chest plate and because he is of high authority. And he ain't scared of the front line, neither is that man right there. He ain't scared of getting his hands dirty and getting right involved in the action. So is he. And to some extent, Director Krennic. Now, he's no coward. He gets involved. So what was I going to do? Moving over here. So I wanted to talk about this thing of capes. Now, I have been talking and thinking a lot about Dooku recently. And look at this figure. I'm going to do a video about him. I did this custom light side Dooku. I'd say he would have looked like that just before he turned to the dark side, you know. And people think that Dooku wore a cape when he was a Jedi. I really disagree with that. I don't think he would have. I think a cape is a symbol of his past, his aristocratic past. And I think that anyone in Star Wars who wears a cape chooses to do so as a thing of aristocracy, you know, pomp and circumstance, whatever you want to call it, snobbery, whatever. Look at this guy. I mean, look at him in Solo, how he behaved when he was younger, and he wears a cape to symbol status. And he's a, you know, he's a big shot. He thinks he's a big shot when he's younger. I suppose he is. He's a bit of a go-getter, jet-setter type. But then when he's running his own, he's an administrator, isn't he, in a Bespin, and it suits him down to the ground. He loves that kind of thing, doesn't he? Being someone of importance. So does he. You know, that's why he left the Jedi Order. You know, he comes from a powerful background. You know, he comes from wealth, and he wants more wealth and power as he gets older, without doubt. And then you've got this fella here. Look at him. A cold Imperial, just doing his job. Probably not as much charisma as him, but still, he's got that armor. He's on the front line. You know, he's putting his life in danger, most definitely. You know, one of those AT-ATs could have been taken out with him in it. I thought I'd bring him into this because this is a much better figure than that Veers. This is not Veers, I don't believe. Some people think this is Veers. I don't think so. I just think that's a generic commander. But look at that figure. It's so much better. The quality, you can see the sharpness of the figure is there. And then, of course, Vader. I mean, look at Vader. He's a Lord. Lord Vader. And either he was dressed that way or chose it or whatever. You never know who decided on his final wardrobe. But a cape suits the character and who he is and who he became. And no doubt it's part of the universe. The attire for people who get to that kind of level. There's only him and the Emperor at the top of the tree. And so this guy chooses a cape as well. And it just sort of suits him. It just reminds me of Dooku. And all those other guys mixed into one new character. And I'd love to find out what the story is with him. We sort of left that season. He was going to kill himself. He was going to commit suicide. And that was it. But, you know, basically, I want this to happen. I really wanted there to be two factions of the Empire. Moff Gideon in charge of one, and Grand Admiral Thrawn in charge of the other. I don't want them to be working together because that would so echo the Roman Empire and these factions who might be clawing for ultimate power. I'm just going to hold it here because he's quite hard to focus on. I'll just show you the... Look at the way he's got a hinged wrist there, you can see. I'll go through some more articulation in a minute, but I like him standing like that so he can hold the dark saber right up like that, you see. You know, we'll talk about the dark saber as well in a minute. I don't think that looks that good, really. I don't know. Depends on what angle you've got it on. So anyway, what I'd really like to see with this fella, and you didn't really know at the end of it, when we saw the Ahsoka episode, you got the name Grand Admiral Thrawn was mentioned, right? And so I immediately thought to myself, and a few other people thought, you know, are there two factions of the Empire? And I really want there to be. And then that sort of discussion died down. Thrawn didn't appear in the rest of the season, but, you know, he will appear most definitely in the Ahsoka. No question. But I still want there to be, and this guy nearly killed himself. Cara Dune stopped him from committing suicide. He got a gun under his chin, and Cara, and then took him out. It was great. But I'd like there to be two factions. Him in charge of one, Thrawn the other, because that would make so much sense. As opposed to everyone just being the Empire. Oh, hail the Emperor and dead Emperor. I like the idea of there being a couple of people thinking, right, this is my chance, I'm taking over. You know what I mean? So logical. It's happened in history before. The Roman Empire is one. The New World Order, the Wolfpack and the NWO Hollywood factions of the New World Order NWO stable in WCW circa 1996 to 1998. Yeah, some people might not know what I'm talking about there, but it's all a rich tapestry of what happens when you get factions and groups like the Empire, people who want power. All those who gain power are afraid to lose it. Even the Jedi. So there you are. There's Moff Gideon. I apologise about this video. It's very difficult on sometimes with lighting with these dark figures. And he's spinning all over the place. He needs to be in the middle of the rotating platform there. All right, let's wrap this up now, y'all. Thank you very much for watching. I have been only one Kenobi, only one. And I'm glad this guy didn't die at the end of season 2 because I don't want his story to be over. No way. People talked about him being an Inquisitor. Do you think so? He seemed to be pretty good with the saber, but I don't want him to be an Inquisitor. I just want him to be a badass. He might be Force sensitive, maybe. You know, who's to stop someone from having some skill and not being a Jedi, you know, like Chirrut Imwe or somebody. So, yeah, but being an Inquisitor, I don't know, man. He's powerful. He's good. But anyway, that's that. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, do hit the like button and subscribe for more. This has been, this is an ongoing, you know, this is a series. Sorry, something else has just distracted me. That was a message from Tim from Bosk's Bounty. And I really need to do something about turning my phone off when I do these videos. If you want to see the rest of the series, which is the Vintage Collection Quickshot series, there is a link below. And of course, tap the notification bell as well if you are a subscriber or not, just becoming new, and then you will be able to follow the rest of the series. For now, this has been Only One Kenobi. Only one. Out.